Hello, Stampers, and welcome to another episode of Make It Monday with me, your host, Laura Buechler of Inkyfingers Papercrafting, here to remind you, as I do every Monday, that creativity is fun, creativity is good for us, and creativity is for everyone. Yes. Okay, I was away last week. I was away doing something else creative. I was at I was at musical theater camp. It was so much fun. Musical theater camp for grown-ups. I had a blast. So that's why I wasn't here with you last Monday, but I'm here today to show you this fun and fabulous card. Look at all the different stuff we've got going on this card. We are going to die cut 10 different pieces. We are going to stamp with 5 different colors. We are going to have so much fun. When I created this card, which was yesterday afternoon, what I really wanted to do was to make a card without any designer series paper, which is very rare for me. I'm all about the designer series paper, but I wanted to create my own background using the stamps from the Words and Wishes bundle. There are so many great sentiment stamps here, and some image stamps too, that I created a background for my card with those stamps. And then we're going to use the dies as well to do some fun stuff. So let me bring in, first of all, my Misty Moonlight Stampin' Pad. And I'm just going to stamp the word happy 5 times randomly on this piece of petal pink cardstock. There we go. And I'm going to hang on to that because I'm going to need it again later. Now I'm going to bring in Birthday with Berry Burst ink. So those of you who are watching, whether live or on the replay, let me know what kind of stuff you've been up to. It's been just a beautiful summer here on Vancouver Island. Right now, it has actually cooled down a little bit, which I'll tell you, I am not complaining about. I don't love the hot heat. 25 is about the maximum for me. And today it's like, I don't know, I would say it's like 20 degrees maybe. It's a little bit cool. There's even been some sprinkles of rain, which is great because we need that. So coming in now with Strawberry Slush ink and the word wishes, and I'm just stamping each of those words 5 times, and then you'll see how I'm going to fill this in. I have there's 2 little present stamps from the Words and Wishes stamp set, and so I'm going to stamp some of them in Azure Afternoon and some of them in Flirty Flamingo, and that's just going to fill in all these little gaps that we've got here. And this is one of those things where you don't have to stress too much. Like, every card you make is going to look a little bit different, and it's just going to be fun and random and colorful. And remember, this is only the background of our card, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Is there any such thing as perfect anyway? I don't think so. There we go. I'm going to put one more right here. And then here. And look at that. We got that all filled up. Happy birthday wishes with some presents. Okay. Put that off to the side. Okay, now I want to stamp again with my Misty Moonlight ink pad. I have got this cute little cake image, and yes, this is from the same bundle, Words and Wishes, and I'm going to stamp it on 3 different colors of cardstock. I have got Melon Mambo, Crushed Curry, and Coastal Cabana. And yes, because I was not using DSP for this card, I just kind of picked a bunch of colors that I like and that I thought looked good together. When I am looking for a birthday card color scheme, I want something bright and colorful with a lot of different, a lot of different colors. So that's what I went for. Okay, that is all the stamping we need to do. So we can put the Stampin' Pierce mat away. And we're going to start doing some die cutting. So I've got my friend Will. Where there's a will, there's a way. And we are going to do a bunch of die cutting. So let's start with not only cutting out our little cakes, but I'm going to cut out some little squares too. I've got my whole little bag of dies and my cardstock scraps that I'm going to be cutting out from. And with the little cake die, I've got some Post-it note tape on it so that it will stay where I put it when I arrange it in my die cutter. Okay, so there's my cake, and then the other piece I want to do is just a piece of white here, just a little square cut out with one of the dies from Stylish Shapes. Look at how cute that cake looks. Now, obviously, you could stamp that cake directly on white cardstock and then color it in, but I thought it would be fun to do it on colored cardstock, and then it's already colored. It's already got that bright color scheme to it that I'm looking for. Okay, let's do this. And you could choose your own color scheme. You could choose to be way more restrained in your color choices than I was. Oops, that wasn't too smart. Look at that. I bent my paper. That's okay. My cake is not damaged. That's the important part. And I can use the other piece on another project. What was I saying? Oh, yes. You could choose to do 3 cakes the same color instead of 3 different colors. That's a choice you could make. There's always different ways that you can be inspired by what you see me create on Make It Monday. I was inspired by 2 different cards that I saw. One of them is called Halloween Cats. I think it was designed by, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say the name because I'm not sure that I'm correct. So I don't want to make a mistake. But I can tell you that it's in the Crafty Collaborations tutorial bundle for the month of August. And if you would like to get your hands on that bundle, you need to either make a purchase from me in the month of August, or you can purchase the tutorial bundle directly to get the Halloween Cats tutorial that helped inspire this card that I'm making right now. The other card that I was inspired by, I do know the name of the designer. It is Tia Woodward, and she made this really lovely birthday card. So she used the dies that we're going to be using in a few minutes to create the happy birthday sentiment, and she had these beautiful, colorful flowers, and I was so drawn to the colors that she used and the fact that she used vellum behind her birthday sentiment. So you see, inspiration can come from anywhere. The tutorial for that lovely card that I'm talking about is also in the Crafty Collaborations tutorial bundle. So you can get your hands on both of those tutorials by making a purchase from me through my Stampin' Up store or directly on my website, inkyfingers.ca/bundles, starting on August 1st. Okay, so we have some more die cutting to do. We need to cut the happy and the birthday, and we need to cut 2 different versions. So first of all, I'm going to cut the wider version of happy birthday with from the vellum. Again, this was inspired by Tia Woodward. And when I was working on this card yesterday, I loved the way that Tia used the vellum behind her sentiment. And I thought that's a good idea because there's so much going on this card, right? There's a stamped background. There's these 3 really colorful cakes. Vellum is a great choice. And then I chose to do the more detailed happy and birthday in white cardstock. And when I finished the card, I was like, I don't know. I don't know that that was the right choice. I'm going to make a different choice today because I feel like even though I wanted to keep that part light, I feel like it disappeared against the busy background. So today I'm going to cut the happy birthday, the smaller version, out of Misty Moonlight. And I've already got my adhesive sheet on the back, so I can go ahead, put this on, and then grab my little dies here. And cut out my happy birthday. There we go. If I do it like that, it should fit. Okay. Okay, now that should be all my die cutting. So Will can take a break. And let's see here. I've got my shadow pieces from Vellum. I've got my 3 squares. I've got my 3 cakes. And then I've got my smaller version of Happy Birthday cut out with the adhesive sheet on the back. Okay, so when I take out the Happy Birthday sentiment here, I need to be careful not to lose the dot of the eye. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that dot is called a tittle. And I'm going to put it way over here, away from my working surface, so that hopefully it won't get misplaced. And then I'm going to roll the rest of this out of the cardstock. Okay. Now, because we've used the adhesive sheet on the back, sometimes that can make it a little bit more challenging to detach your letters from your cardstock. And that's okay. Just take a little bit of patience, a little bit of extra time. And this needs to go in the garbage, not the recycling, because of that adhesive sheet backing on the other side. Okie dokie. Let's put our sentiment pieces over to the side, and we're going to work on assembling the card from the base to the top. So this fabulous stamped background that we created, I'm going to add that to my card base. And then my 3 squares. What I want to do first actually is just one little bit of adhesive on the back. And I'm going to try to go, I want to go a little bit below. No, I don't. I want to go right on the center as much as I can. And I'm just pressing down really lightly. It's not going to be permanent at this point, but I just want to try to get them lined up fairly evenly. There we go. Okay, so pretty even gaps in between the 3. And now that I've done that, now I can apply a little bit more adhesive and put them down for realsies. And of course, it's going to cover up some of my adorable stamping, but that's okay. All right, now for these cakes, I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. right, I'm going to put the blue one in the middle, and then the pink one to the right, and the yellow one to the left. There we go. Looking very cute. Okay, time for the sentiment. Let's start with happy. Okay, I have got my H for happy. Just get an edge of that adhesive sheet backing peeled away, and then we can take the whole thing off and put it onto the vellum piece. Ta-da! Doesn't that look cool? Well, actually, you can barely see the vellum piece against the desk, which is the point of vellum, right? Okay. Let's peel off the backing here. Now, sometimes when you peel off the backing, all these little bits inside the A's and the P's and such will come out, and sometimes it won't. So sometimes you need to use a little pokey tool on your take your pick. Get that off. Okay. Gently peeling it off my fingers now because it got kind of stuck. And I'm going to just gently press it down until it sticks. Happy. And yes, I've got little bits of cardstock stuck to me. No worries, I can deal with that later. Okay. Next, we're going to do birthday. We're going to do just the same thing. Get this little piece peeled off. There we go. And I'm going to poke out these bits before I take off the adhesive this time. So those of you who are watching either live or on the replay, what is the last birthday card that you made? Did you use the Words and Wishes stamp set, or bundle, I should say, or did you use something else? Drop me a comment and let me know. I'm curious if you've used something else, what it was, and whether I've used it. Always fun to have that conversation. Okay, there we go. There's birthday. Now, remember, the first step when I took the birthday out of the die was to put the little tittle of the eye over to the side so I wouldn't lose it. And here it still is. That little dot right there. So I'm going to hold it down. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Haha. Okay, I'm holding it down with one finger and using my pokey tool to peel up the backing. And now I've got it on my pokey tool. And now I can put it where I want. Ta-da! Happy birthday! Fun. I love that. Okay, so what do you think? Does that look better than the vellum and white that I did on the first card? Discuss amongst yourselves while I put these onto the card. Now, you might be asking yourself, how are you going to attach these to the card? Because you've got vellum back there, and anything you use with vellum we'll see right through the vellum, and then we'll be able to see the adhesive, whichever adhesive you used. True story. Now, you have a couple of choices. You could take your mini dimensionals and cut them in half, cut them into little strips, use these edge pieces in small little strips, and put them just behind where there are the strokes of the letter, the strokes of the Misty Moonlight cardstock. You could do that. Or you could use, what am I trying to say? You could use your glue, your fine-tipped glue. I'm going to use glue dots. So I'm going to grab some here. And I'm going to put one glue dot on the H, and one on a P, and one on a Y. Got one stuck to my finger, so that's going to go on the P. There we go. That goes on the Y. And same thing. By the way, this is, as far as I'm concerned, the easiest way to use glue dots. You unroll it a little bit so that you've got one glue dot exposed. I know that's hard to see. There it is. There's the little glue dot. And then whatever it is you're trying to put the glue dot on, you take that to the glue dot. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of beginner stampers try to peel this off and then stick it on what they want. Just bring what you want straight to the glue dots. It's a lot easier than trying to manipulate it on and then manipulate it off, or rather the other way around, manipulate it off the roll and then onto your project. And when I'm done using the glue dots, I just tear off this piece. This has got no glue dots on it anymore. The first glue dot there is safely covered so it won't stick to anything and turn into a big mess. And that is your glue dot tip of the day. All right, so now we have all of our glue dots on our sentiment. You can kind of see them shining a little bit there. And now we're just going to stick those onto our card. Ta-da! I do like that a lot better with the blue instead of the white. That looks more contrast, more striking, really grabs your eye in a different way. Okay, so final step is adding some bling, and we're going to add one of my favorite embellishments as soon as I figure out where I put it. There it is. Ha! The iridescent pearls. Old Faithful iridescent pearls. They go with everything. And we're going to add 5 of them because this is a busy card. So let's add lots of bling. I'm going to put 2 of them right here. And I'm going to put 2 of them up here. And then I'm going to add 1 more over here. Another thing you could do, by the way, if you happened to lose that little tittle of the eye, or if you didn't feel like fussing with it, you could use an embellishment there instead. You could use a pearl, and you could even color it with the blends of your choice to make it a different color. So there you go. There's my original card and the card that we made today. Tell me in the comments which one you like better, and let me know what kind of birthday cards you've been making lately. I want to thank everyone for watching today, joining me on the Make It Monday live video. Even if you're watching the replay later on, I still appreciate you. I hope you had fun, and I hope that you will take some creative time for yourself this week. And if you're looking for supplies or inspiration or how-to ideas, be sure to check out my website at inkyfingers.ca. Have a great day and happy stampin'. Bye, friends.